We're back. Mr. French does Desmos. Good to see everybody. Wow, 20-something subscribers. I'm tearing up. It's been a while since I've done some videos, and I'd like to just kind of try to get back into it a little bit. We'll see. I'll probably have a few videos here and there, but this came up in one of my classes, and I figured out a cool solution for it. And I just want to share with you what was done. So here we go. This today is all about creating a slide where students input a number and you get some data collection, and then they're going to make a histogram like on a piece of paper. I was struggling in my class because I would have them put their number up on the whiteboard, and it was just really tough to like look at the whiteboard and make your histogram, like look up, look down, look up and down. It's all kind of a jumbled mess. So this screen is supposed to have the students put in a number. Then it'll show all the class's numbers and a sketch tool, and then they can use that and use the sketch tool to kind of cross off numbers for their histogram. And it's just an option. I still in my lesson had them go up to the whiteboard, and then this was an option for them to do. So here we go. We're gonna have three main components. We're gonna have I'm gonna move my. We're gonna move. We're gonna get a graph. There we go. We're going to get a note, and we're going to get a math response here. And I'll go ahead and type these. Does this work? It does work. Good. We're going to make this, also call this graph. We'll call this here prompt if we need to. And then we'll call this component. Input. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'd like to put in some error guards or error messages in here. One thing that I've noticed is if I put in a number, if I have them put in a number, then, I don't think I need to do that. I can probably just zoom in anyway. But so one thing I noticed is sometimes when students get this type of math input, they'll try to put something that's maybe not a number in it. They might put units. They might put, they might type out the word of the unit. They might put a comma in, and this doesn't like commas, for numeric values. So I'm going to put a suffix just to remind them what we're doing. So the data collection that I got, just as a friendly class thing, I said, how many pairs of shoes do you own? This is also kind of nice because it keeps it anonymous as well. So we're going to say the suffix here is going to be pairs of shoes. Or I guess we could just say pairs. So now, suffix is the function. And now when we put it, it'll say like, I got 12 pairs of shoes. I do not have those. I think. Then there's a whole big question about, do we include flip-flops or not? Just have fun with your class. I'm going to go back into the editing script here. So now it says pairs. I want an error message to show up when there's a function I learned recently, not recently, I was reminded of it, is defined. And what this is going to do is what is defined does is I'm going to self-reference this component. So this dot, we'll say numeric value. So this is saying when this is a numeric value, you're going to have an error message. So we don't want that. So when the numeric value is defined, I don't want a message to show up at all. So it'll just be like that. Otherwise, I'm going to have it say needs to be a number. Boom. Exclamation point to really draw on the point. Cool. So now we can kind of go back and see what that looks like. So now I'll put in 34. Great, I can submit it. Awesome. But now if I put in like 34 shoes, weird. Okay, if I put like R in, needs to be a number. If I put in like 56 space, it still looks like it's okay with that. That's odd. Interesting. So, I wonder why that's happening. So I'm not quite sure why it still allows you to have stuff that's not a number. I will figure that out later. Maybe I'll make a little update. But yeah, this shouldn't like that F there. But we're going to keep going just for the sake. So another thing that I want is, I don't want them to put in like different values or change things based on what other people said. So I'm going to disable the, oh, not disable evaluation. I'm going to disable the edit. This, submitted, boom. So when this is submitted, it should disable the edit. So I'm going to go ahead and put like 12, submit, done. Those are some quick little error messages that are going to show up. Now I want a good way to display like the numbers that they put in. So I'm going to go into the graph component. So this is going to aggregate all of the numbers that the students put in. So I'm going to make a list. I'll call it L. Now I'm going to go into here and I'm going to define that number list. So I go to number list, L, and what it's going to do is it's going to aggregate the input numeric value. Awesome. So it's going to go over to this input component, and it's going to take this number. But in order to do that, I need to put in a capture function. So I'm going to capture. Oh no, I don't need to capture, I don't think, because it's just going to aggregate that list. I think we're okay. It should still work. I'm going to look at the one that I previously built. Yeah, we just need to aggregate the value. We're good. So you might have noticed in the one that I've already built to prepare for this, there was like a grid. So I want the numbers to show up as a nice, clear grid. So I'm going to make a series of points that I'll call, I don't know, capital X, comma, capital Y. And now I've recently learned this kind of, it's like the 4, so 4, X equals a list, let's say 1, comma 6. And then I believe I separate these with a comma. Y equals, oops, 1, comma 6. Okay. So what that does is it's an easy way to make a grid. So what it's doing is it's plotting out X and Y for X is 1 to 6 and Y is 1 to 6. So it makes this like square grid. So we got 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, so on and so forth. I think it goes this way. It kind of goes horizontally. All right, so what I want is the label to be actually the values of this list. I'm going to change the color of these to black, a bit easier on the eye. I want the label, I don't want to see the points, and I want the label. So I want it to be in math type, so I'm going to put those tick marks there. It's above like typically the tab or next to the 1 key. And then the $ is going to go into this list. So this is going to take the values of the list, and those are going to be the label of those points. I'm going to zoom out, and we're probably going to get like a bunch of question marks. Yeah, because it has no data right now. Awesome. Okay, so it has no data right now. So we just have these question marks. Once again, this is the compiled list. This is now all these points are the labels of the student numbers. So it's almost like the little whiteboard, but in a much more organized manner. The window looks gross right now, so you can change the window. You have to first define bounds. Bounds, we'll make the bounds, let's go 0 to 7, comma 0 to 7, we'll see how that looks. That looks pretty sharp right there. Numbers are going to be a little bit small, so I'm going to go into the graph component and change this briefly. I'll change these maybe to 2. Something like this. Awesome, great. I'll get rid of these axes because I don't need them. Go to the grid, x-axis, y. So now what is cool about this is I can put in, 13 pairs of shoes, submit, we're good to go. I don't like that the students see this change as they change it. They might adjust based on what they see. I'm going to hide this graph. When the input submitted, so the opposite of this. So when the input one is not submitted, yes, this will be hidden. Otherwise, false. So when it is submitted, when it's not submitted, yeah, it should be hidden. Otherwise, it should appear. Let's see what that looks like. Cool. So we have this blank space here. That way they can't like change it. Ooh. What? Oh, whoops. I have a different component here called input one. So I call this one just input. So now, there it shows up. I kind of don't like how there's like no border, then there is a border. So I'm going to do this actually. This is going to be a nice little trick. I'm going to copy this exactly how it is. And then we will control. We're going to copy it. We're going to make a new one here. This one, I really don't. Which one do I want to show up? Doesn't matter. I'm going to get rid of everything in this one. I'm going to keep. Should I keep the components? No, I don't need any of this. Well, except for, wait. Oops. Oh, we're all over the place now. Great. I don't need any of this one. Let's try this again. I'm going to copy this so that there's still like a box outline. So I'll copy this, Command V it, there it is. I'm going to go to here. I don't really care about any of this, but the hidden thing I do want. I'm going to flip this. So this one is just going to be a blank graph. And that was this one here. I'll rename this. Let's say hidden graph. We'll go into here and just get rid of everything. So it should look like that. Enter in your number. Boom. So then it's like two different graphs. So let's put the prompt in here. The prompt is enter the number of shoes you currently own. So I'm always a fan of lining it up down the middle for some reason. Cool. So I own 12. Boom. Now I did this in a class and I was afraid that maybe it didn't update live, but it does. Oh, I just realized something. I don't want these to be graphs. I want them to be sketches. So this will be a sketch component. This will be a sketch component. Thank goodness we can just adjust that. Actually, I don't want this one to be a sketch. I want that to be graph. Because I don't want them to be able to sketch right now. So 34, boom. Great. And now they can make their histogram and they'll be able to like kind of cross out the ones that they've used, because that's, if you're making it by hand, that's typically what's going to happen. I also want to maybe prompt them to make the histogram now. So use the class data to make a histogram. That's going to be the prompt after they submit. Make it, I'll bold that too. Put myself up here. Great. So then I don't want this to show up yet. I'm also going to have them do a free response question that I'll show you in a second what I'm going to do. So after they submit it, I want this to show up. So this is hidden. Input, just the input, submitted. And we want, when it's submitted, we want this to be false, otherwise true. And it needs to know when. When input is submitted, false, otherwise true. So if we show the preview here, oh wait. Oh, dang it. Okay. It's the opposite. When it's submitted, what? So when it's submitted, I want this to show up. There we go. Otherwise, true, right? Is that what I just had though? Yeah, why is it showing up? When it's submitted, I want it to be hidden. When input is submitted. What is happening? What? I don't get it. When input is submitted, it's been a long day. When input is submitted, true. Let's see what happens. Does it go away? Oh, wait, no, we're totally good. We're good. It was that message there. Sorry, I thought it was the same. I thought it was the text box. I'm going to copy that into this free response. Okay, that was confusing me. Oh my gosh. So now, yeah, 13, boom. Cool. Now use the class data to make a histogram. Great. I'm going to go into the initial text is a function that's super helpful. I'm going to say upload an image of your histogram here. Get rid of that. I'll just do like a little arrow. And that's kind of just pointing them down to the option to, yeah, then they can use this right here to upload an image. So I think that's all the bits I wanted. One thing to consider is I chose a 6x6 because I think my largest class here where I am is 25 students. So you can adjust that. Here to whatever you need. One disadvantage I noticed is like there's a lot of question marks at the beginning, so it might take a little bit to load. And then also sometimes there's just unneeded question marks too, but there's other ways to do it. I had other ideas, but this was my first idea and I know that it works. I did it in class. Maybe I can show you what happened. So this is what it looks like on a class that I did not too long ago. So they see something like this. Cool, yeah, it's awesome. So it shows up, it lags a little bit. They might have to refresh their page, but this is also tells you how many students responded. And then they can upload a picture and you can kind of see it, give them some feedback on their histogram. So at the end of the day, this is what it looks like, and it's nice to not have it just scrambled up on the whiteboard. So I think that's everything I wanted to go over today. Thanks, folks, for... Can I make this larger? No, I can't. Well, thank you for playing around with me in Desmos today. And now, little data collection tool. The cool part is that now I can change the prompt here as well. So, I can change it to anything, and they can practice making data and have a nice little spot to see it at their screen as opposed to the whiteboard. Thank you. This has been Mr. French Does Desmos, episode 3. Bye. Goodbye, everybody. It's been super fun. Thanks for being with me. I really appreciate you.